Looks like Saturday night's main event turned out to be a terrible show tonight. Terrible event, a terrible special tonight. I'm the Godfather Soldier from Slimming, and the name of my topic tonight is called Awful and Arrogant Atlanta, Georgia. That's my topic tonight. Before I do, I'm gonna open up my review tonight with a little bit of music. I'm gonna open up with something. I don't know if this song is let's see what else. See what I should. I don't know if it showed the Saturday Night's Main Event theme song "Obsession" by Animotion. There was a theme from 1985. So much I would say. So stick around. I'll be right back. Open up the show a little bit with "Obsession." Animotion was the original theme for Saturday Night's Main Event. First Saturday Night's Main Event back in 1995, 40 years ago. So so I'll be right back. Let me get the music playing. Okay, that was the theme from the first ever Saturday Night's Main Event from 1985. We just heard "Obsession" by Animotion, and because for all of you that watched tonight's Saturday Night's Main Event, so let's get down to business with tonight's show. Then down forever together, the WWE video leads us into the show. The Vintage WWE Saturday Night's Main Event theme plays as we see an overhead shot of Atlanta, Georgia. Joe Tessitore welcomes us to the show. We are live from the Farm State Arena. The show is presented by Jimmy Johns. Seth Dickhead, injured, his Dickhead Rollins is in the building. The WWE Hall of Famer Walrus Paul Heyman, who's carrying Money Bank briefcase. Big Bronson, Reed, and Brian Breaker trail behind him. Rollins will face LA Knight, who gets a big ovation when he is shown. Drew McIntyre rides with the Maverick Logan Paul. McIntyre will battle Roy and Randy Orton, who is talking with Jelly Roll. The United States Champion Solo Sikoa is shown arriving with Jason Mateo, Tonga Leo, and Talatonga. Sikoa will defend his title against his older brother Jimmy Uso, who is shown arriving at the Farm State Arena. The World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is shown walking backstage with his title. He'll battle WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg, will be his final match. Goldberg is shown in the arena earlier today talking with his son Gage. The WWE Saturday Night's Main Event intro video shows the retro clips before transitioning our modern day stars. We go into the State Farm Arena. They have pyrokinetics going off in the ring like they did in the 1990s. Joe Tessitore and WWE Hall of Famer Jesse the Body Ventura welcome us to the show. Ventura expects Goldberg to have his battle age. Goldberg has to win quickly in early age. Longer it goes on, the greater the advantage goes to Gunther. The greater the advantage goes to Gunther. Sorry. Tessitore asks about Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Ventura discusses teaming up with Orton's father, Cowboy Bobo, and the apple doesn't fall from the tree. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett take over the broadcast. Last night on Saturday's Main Event, Logan Paul destroyed Jelly Roll's musical set. The Viper, Randy Orton with Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre with McIntyre, Maverick, Logan Paul. Referee is Sean Bennett. The bell rings and they circle the ring. McIntyre kicks Orton in the midsection and as Orton goes for a lockup, McIntyre punches him in the corner and climbs the second rope for 10 punches. Orton slides out and sweeps the feet. Orton then climbs the second rope and unleashes the full 10 punches. Orton hits the ropes and clotheslines McIntyre over the top rope. Orton follows him in the ring and stares at Logan Paul. Orton goes back for the suplex on the table, but McIntyre fights out. McIntyre then hits Orton with the back suplex on the commentary table. McIntyre grabs him and hits a second back suplex on the commentary table. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Orton punches McIntyre to the corner. McIntyre reverses a whip to the opposite corner, and Orton drops to his knees. favoring the surgically repaired back. McIntyre targeted the lower back with the back suplexes on the commentary table. McIntyre asks what happened to Orton as he chops at his chest. Orton absorbs the impact and stares incredulously at McIntyre. McIntyre whips him to the opposite corner, but Orton pops out and hits a pair of clotheslines. Orton ducks the clothesline, goes for a snap power slam, but McIntyre puts the brakes on. McIntyre connects with a Glasgow kiss and charges, but Orton drops him on the apron. McIntyre goes on the top rope but leaps when he rolls through as Orton moves. McIntyre charges, but Orton hits him with a snap power slam. McIntyre rolls out of the ring to recover. Orton follows him out and hits a back suplex on the commentary table. Orton quickly grabs him and hits a second suplex on the commentary table. Orton isn't done yet. He grabs McIntyre and hits a third back suplex on the commentary table. Orton then scares Logan Paul back. McIntyre quickly hits a throat thrust and gets Orton in the ring. Orton kicks McIntyre in the face as he attempts to get in the ring. Orton connects with a vintage draping DDT before signaling the crowd that it is that time. Orton drops down and starts to startle his prey. Paul gets on the apron and distracts Orton. McIntyre floors him with a Claymore kick. 1-2. Orton gets a foot on the bottom rope to stop the pin. Logan Paul and Jelly Roll face to face at ringside. Jelly Roll yells at him. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Hold on. Give me 1 second, everybody. Hold on. Okay, let me finish up this time. Yeah, McIntyre, as I say, let me finish. McIntyre quickly hits the throat thrust and gets Orton in the ring. Orton kicks McIntyre in the face and he attempts to get in the ring. Orton connects with a vintage draping DDT before signaling the crowd that it's that time. Orton drops down and starts to stalk his prey. Paul gets on the apron and distracts Orton. McIntyre floors with him with a Claymore kick. 1-2. Orton gets a foot on the bottom rope and stop the pin. Logan Paul and Jelly Roll face to face at the ringside. Jelly Roll yells at him. Paul shows him a few times. Jelly Roll tells him to push him one more time, so Paul obliges. Jelly Roll shoves him down and is fired up. McIntyre shouts at Jelly Roll from the ring. McIntyre tells Jelly Roll to get in the ring and fight him. Jelly Roll points at him, but he won't get in the ring. McIntyre grabs Orton and pulls him up. Orton floors him with an RKO from out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Winner by pinfall, Viper Randy Orton. Randy Orton smiles and celebrates in the ring before Logan Paul blindsides him with a right hand into the mouth. Paul's right hand and contains a titanium plate. Jelly Roll has seen enough and gets in the ring. Paul is standing over Orton and doesn't see Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll grabs Paul and throws him into a corner. Paul gets up and is furious. Jelly Roll lays him out with a big right hand, and Jelly Champ picks up. Jelly Roll checks on Randy Orton, and Randy Orton lays him out with a Claymore kick. McIntyre talks trash to Jelly Roll managers General managers Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis run down with WWE officials to manage McIntyre. McIntyre walks off. Orton is concerned about Jelly Roll. Back on commercial break, moments ago, Jelly Roll shoved Logan Paul at ringside. Drew McIntyre was furious about that and turned to RKO from out of nowhere. From Randy Orton costing McIntyre the match, Paul would attack Orton, so Jelly Roll pulled him out and laid him out with a right hand. McIntyre crushed Jelly Roll with a Claymore kick. Then we go to a backstage segment. Raw General GM Adam Pearce and SmackDown GM Nick Aldis are yelling at Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. They crossed the line. They're going to cross the line. McIntyre and Logan Paul crossed the line tonight. At ringside, the Baron Frame received upgrade seats from Jimmy Johns. And we all know tomorrow, Raw Women's World Champion Io Sky is at ringside. Her opponent tomorrow at Evolution's Rhea Ripley is also shown. Queen of Ring Jade Cargill is also ringside. She'll battle Naomi in a no-holds barred tomorrow night. Naomi attacks Jade Cargill from behind and knocks her to ringside. Naomi beats on her and applies a sleeper hold. WWE officials pull Naomi off. Cargill attacks Naomi and shoves her over the commentary table. WWE officials separate them. The crowd chants, "Let them fight. Let them fight." Naomi leaps off the commentary table and Cargill takes Cargill down. WWE officials pull them apart. SmackDown GM Nick Aldis says he's worried about something that like this will happen. He wanted to discuss this with them in his office, like professionals. But since they can't keep their hands off each other, he wants to introduce them to the special guest referee for their match at Evolution tomorrow. And Bianca Belair, I knew it. I knew it was Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, who hasn't been seen on television in a while. Belair comes out to a huge ovation and walks down to the ring. Now Cargill and Naomi stare at her. Doug Dillinger, former WCW head of security, Wesker Goldberg backstage for his ironic WCW entrance is shown at ringside tomorrow. So it's official now. Naomi and Jade Cargill and Naomi in no holds bars match with special guest referee Bianca Belair. I think there's gonna be some plot twist, some twist. I got a gut wrench. There's gonna be some twist tomorrow in this match. Somehow. WWE Hall of Famer DDP, one of Goldberg's great WCW opponents, is also ringside. Highlights from Goldberg's WCW career is shown. The ring general Gunther will defend his heavyweight championship against Goldberg, and it will be the final match of Goldberg's career. Jimmy Uso makes his way to the ring. He'll battle his little brother Solo for the U.S. title next. We can go to commercial break. U.S. title: Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa, champion with MFT, JC Mateo, Tama Tonga, and Tala Tonga. Referee is Daphne LaShawn. The bell rings and two brothers stare at each other. It is the brother against brother match, like Owen and Brett, and a sibling match like Owen and Brett, Matt and Jeff, Bree versus Nikki, and Scott and Rick. Yeah. Bell rings and two brothers stare at each other. Solo talks a bit. Jimmy Uso English stares back, and Uso blocks a right hand and lays in some punches. Yoka shoves him off, but Uso fights back and hits a suicide dive. Tonga and Jason Mateo helps Sioka up, but he shouts at them. Sioka is furious. Uso attacks Sioka as he tries to get in the ring. Sioka throws Uso to the apron. Uso punches him back and goes to the top rope. Uso leaps, but Sioka catches him with a spinning solo for one count. Uso rolls to the apron, but Uso punches him back. Uso kicks him in the face and shoulders him to the midsection. Sioka punches him and attempts a slingshot. Tala Tonga clotheslines Uso at ringside as Sioka distracts the referee. Then we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Sioka sets up for a suplex apron. Uso blocks it and punches Sioka off. They throw punches out on the apron, but Sioka shoves him spine first into the ring post. Uso enters with a super kick. Both brothers are hurting. Uso grabs a waistlock and hits Sioka with a German suplex on the apron. Uso slowly gets in the ring and heads the 2 count top rope. Uso connects with a diving crossbody block for a 2 count. Uso sizes Sioka up and smashes him in the face with a running hip corner attack. Uso gets to the top rope and connects with a Uso splash. 1-2, Sioka kicks out. Uso watches his brother to get up. Uso charges for a spear, but Sioka kicks him in the face before hitting a spinning solo. Sioka holds his taped thumb and goes for a small spike, but Uso ducks it. Uso connects with 2 super kicks and crawls to the corner. Uso climbs the top rope, but Sioka rolls out of the ring. JC Mateo and Tonga Leo check on Sioka. Uso takes him out with his corkscrew senton to the floor. The referee is counting them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uso gets Sioka in the ring. Tala Tonga attempts to attack Uso, but Uso responds with a super kick. Uso then kicks him in the face. Sioka pulls Uso into the ring and rolls him up. Tala Tonga holds Sioka over him as the pin is counted. Winner by pinfall and still U.S. champion Solo Sioka. Tala Tonga immediately takes out Jimmy Uso with a big boot. MFT triple teams Uso before holding up Sioka to hit him with a small spike. Jacob Fatu heads to the ring. The small werewolf attacks Mateo and Tonga Leo. Fatu super kicks Leo before avalanching Mateo and Leo. Fatu hits him with running hip attacks and celebrates. Tala Tonga gets on the apron and sneers at Fatu. Fatu eyes him up as Tonga steps over the top rope. Tala Tonga towers over Fatu. They start exchanging strikes before Tonga big boots him. Sioka shouts and orders Tonga, but Fatu pulls the top rope down to get him out of the ring. Fatu then hits Sioka and Tonga with a suicide dive, and Fatu gets in the ring and celebrates. Video: Goldberg's career when he came over to WWE. Coming up next, we have an interview with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Commercial break. First 2 nights SummerSlam is a few weeks away. Earlier tonight, Jelly Roll attacked Logan Paul as he was attacking Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre then hit Jelly Roll with a Claymore kick. Backstage interview. Randy Orton is apologizing for Jelly Roll for having him out there. I know some of you think it's kind of I think Randy Orton knows it's his fault. Kathy Kelly asked about what happened last night and tonight. Orton says it's his fault. He shouldn't have had his friend out there. Well, I said the same thing. J. Roll says he's a grown man. They greatly underestimate him. They think he's soft, but if he wants them both, anywhere, anytime. Orton says he's got a word for Kathy Kelly. SummerSlam Orton says SummerSlam Orton says him and Jelly Roll will team up at SummerSlam. It'll be RK Roll. Now they I think Randy Orton. This reminds me of a male version. What I can say about Orton and Jelly Roll. This reminds me of the male version of the male version duo of Cyndi Lauper and of Randy Ricker and Cyndi Lauper back in the WWE's Golden Age era, rock and wrestling connection. WWE Hall of Famers Rick and Scott Steiner are ringside. Rick Steiner is the father of Braun Breaker. And burn it down. Here comes the asshole. Seth Rollins heads to the ring with WWE Hall of Famer Oracle Paul Heyman. Heyman is holding Rollins' precious little money bank briefcase. Seth freaking Rollins with Paul Heyman versus LA Knight. The referee is Jessica Carr. The bell rings and they circle the ring before Knight charges. Rollins quickly puts himself through the ropes to keep Knight back. Rollins gets a cheap shot in and they exchange right hands before Rollins attacks the injured ribs. Knight reverses an elbow and hits an elbow back. Knight goes for a suplex and his ribs are hurting. Rollins goes for a pedigree, but Knight fights out and goes for a blunt force trauma. Rollins pushes him off, but Knight holds the ropes. Knight hits Rollins with a back body drop over the top rope. Knight then connects with a baseball slide. Knight bounces Rollins off the commentary table several times before standing on the table. Knight sizes him up and connects with a diving clothesline. We're going to go to commercial break. Back from the break, Rollins is applying a grapevine to the body. Knight fights out and punches him. But Rollins lifts him up and hits a gut buster. Rollins goes for the top rope and connects with a frog splash. 1-2, Knight kicks out. Paul Heyman is not happy with the referee's count. Rollins talks trash to Knight, who is struggling to get up. Knight blocks a punch and lays some right hands. Rollins kicks him in the midsection, goes for a stomp, but Knight moves and hits a clothesline. Knight sidesteps Rollins and hits a neck breaker, followed by a DDT. Knight rolls up to his feet and saunters around the ring. Knight goes for a second rope and does his taunt. Leaps to the top rope. He hits a diving elbow drop. 1-2, Rollins kicks out. Knight stomps away at Rollins in the corner. Knight goes for a BFT, but Rollins pushes him off and quickly goes to the apron. Rollins looks scared. Knight grabs him by the hair, but Rollins shoulders him in the injured midsection. Rollins goes to the top rope, but Knight crutches him up there. Knight chops the chest and sets it for a suplex. Rollins punches him in the midsection and pushes him off. Knight quickly leaps to the top rope and goes for a suplex, but Rollins slides through it and hits a buckle bomb. Knight avoids a stomp and lifts him, but his midsection gives out. Rollins super kicks Knight and goes to the apron. Rollins connects with a springboard senton splash before going for a lion salt, but he lands on his feet when Knight moves. Rollins holds his knee in pain upon the landing. Heyman quickly checks on Rollins. The referee keeps Knight back. Rollins looks panicked. The doctor comes over and checks on Rollins. Rollins hasn't gotten up. Rollins pulls himself up, and Knight hits him with a BFT for a clean win. Winner by pinfall, LA Knight. LA Knight doesn't look pleased with that win and walks off. That clearly wasn't planned. They said they show replay of the moment Rollins landed on his feet, attempting the lion salt and immediately going down. You can see Paul Heyman acting, looking concerned. Well, what I can say, looks like Seth Rollins, the douchebag, the motherfucker, is gonna be out of action until we won't be back until next week. He's gonna be is a little leg injury, but I think he's faking it. Is it real? Is it really? Is he really hurt? Who knows? Someone tells me he's not really hurt. I think he's trying to pull the wool over everyone's ears. We will find out probably on Monday Night Raw. But you know what? I don't care what anyone says. I mean, all I can say is this. All I can say is this. If Seth comes back next year as a babyface along with Paul Heyman, Ron Shimmer, Braun Breaker, and Reed from an injury, I still won't be a fan of him because I haven't forgotten about WrestleMania 41 last April, and Seth is gonna make excuses for his face form like he did with Dean Ambrose back in 2018. He's old news anyway. It's 2025. I mean, it's 2000. And I probably might say it's 2026, not 2014. I mean, WWE. Let's face it, WWE should have never. I mean, what they're gonna do? WWE should never put that Money in the Bank. Gave him to put that Money in the Bank briefcase on him again in the first place. I mean, what they're gonna do with the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand? Now he won't be. He's injured for that action. Who really knows? Who the guy knows? Who really knows, huh? Who really knows? I don't care what anyone says. What I say about Seth Rollins. They want to disagree with me. Too bad. I don't care what anyone says. And there's no authority here. There's no J&J security and all that shit. I don't care what anyone says. What I say about Seth. Now, then you see the video here. Goldberg versus Gunther. The main event is up next. Then we go to commercial break. Akbar Gabajima, the host of American Ninja Warrior, is at ringside. Blake Morrow is also shown. NXT Women's Champion Jason James is also shown. They run down the WWE Evolution card. It's official. Randy Orton will team up Joe with the Battle, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul at SummerSlam 2025 next month. Multi-platinum Grammy Award-winning rapper 2 Chainz is shown at ringside. World Heavyweight Champion Ring General Gunther makes his entrance. The crowd chants to chant Goldberg, Goldberg. Former WCW's head security Doug Dillinger is standing with a host of security guards. Ernest Miller and Gage Goldberg among them. Josh Barnett is also seen. Dillinger knocks on the door, and Goldberg emerges from his dressing room to a huge ovation. 48-year-old Hall of Fame embraces everyone and walks out to a stage. Goldberg emerges among the Sparks one last time and is fired up as his pyro goes off. Goldberg looks emotional. This is Goldberg's first match since February 2022. The last ride is now. Lillian Garcia is in the ring to do the announcements. World Heavyweight Championship. We go the main event. Ring General Gunther versus Goldberg. Referee is Charles Robinson. Fun fact: Charles Robinson refereed Goldberg's legendary match against Hulk Hogan, was then known as Hollywood Hogan, for the WCW Championship. Hold on a second, everyone. Yeah, my back's a little itchy. Back's a little itchy. The bell rings, and to start the final match of Goldberg's career, the crowd loudly chants Goldberg. They lock up. Goldberg immediately shoves Gunther down. Gunther gets to his feet and kicks him. Gunther hooks a side headlock, but Gunther hits a side headlock, but Goldberg whips him off and hits a shoulder tackle. Gunther chops Goldberg's chest, but Goldberg laughs it off. Goldberg absorbs another chop from the Gunther. Gunther kicks him and hits the ropes, but Gunther clotheslines him down. Goldberg punches away at Gunther, and he knees him in the face. Goldberg connects with a short arm clothesline and stares at Gunther, who is clearly stunned. Gunther sets up for a jackhammer, but Gunther kicks him in the knee and crushes him with a short arm clothesline. Gunther heads to the top rope, but Gunther flips him down to the canvas. Goldberg sizes him up in the corner, but charges, but Gunther bails out of the ring. The crowd loudly boos Gunther. Goldberg follows him out and attacks Gunther. Gunther stops Goldberg from whipping him and kicks him in the knee. Goldberg chops away at Goldberg's chest. Goldberg fights back and whips him. Gunther rolls through and sidesteps a spear from Goldberg. Goldberg instead goes through the barricade and goes to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Gunther is attacking Goldberg's injured knee. Goldberg yells in pain before punching Gunther away. Gunther chops Goldberg, so Goldberg responds with a right hand. They trade punches and shots before Gunther floors him with a kick to the face, kick to the knee. The knee brace might be as well as a bullseye in Goldberg's knee. Gunther shoves Goldberg and taunts him. Goldberg angrily gets up and punches Gunther. Goldberg blocks a kick and connects with a spine buster. Goldberg leans on against the ropes and hits and against the ropes and holds his knee. Goldberg hobbles toward Gunther. Gunther kicks him, but Gunther lays in some body shots. Gunther trots back at Goldberg. Goldberg elbows and punches away at Gunther before backing up to recover. Gunther stops a whip and kicks Goldberg in the knee. Gunther goes for a powerbomb, but Gunther counters a body drop. Hold on a second. Came back. Yeah, Gunther goes over ringside and holds his knee. Brace up. Gunther then rocks over to Goldberg's family. Gage Goldberg confronts him. Gunther shoves him while he crossed the line. So Gage comes over the barricade. WWE security quickly runs over and holds him back. Gunther gets in the ring. Goldberg crushes him with a spear. Goldberg is fired up. Yeah, they're trying. Let me start. Wait, let me start over. I'm trying to figure out. Get him started. Can't remember what I'm saying. Goldberg hobbles toward Gunther. Gunther kicks him, but Goldberg lays him some body shots. Gunther chops back at Goldberg. Goldberg elbows and punches away at Gunther before backing up to recover. Gunther stops a whip and kicks Goldberg in the knee. Gunther goes for a powerbomb, but Goldberg counters with a back body drop. Goldberg charges for a spear, but Gunther moves. Goldberg hits Charles Robinson with a spear instead. The 61-year-old referee is out. Gunther takes Goldberg down and whips off the knee brace. Gunther saunters around the ring, holding Gunther's knee brace like a trophy. He uses it to attack the knee before hitting Goldberg in the head with it. Gunther goes to ringside and holds the knee brace up. Gunther then walks over to Goldberg's family. Gage Goldberg confronts him. Gunther shoves him. So Gage jumps over the barricade. WWE security quickly runs over to hold him back. Gunther gets in the ring and Goldberg crushes him with a spear. Goldberg is fired up. The crowd roars back as Goldberg pulls Gunther and hooks him with a front face lock. Goldberg connects with a massive jackhammer on the ring in the World Heavyweight champion. Referee Sean Bennett runs down on the ring as Goldberg holds his knee in pain. Goldberg finally recovers 1-2. Gunther kicks out. Goldberg tries to pull himself up, but he falls over. Gunther then locks Goldberg in a rear naked choke, driving the body for more leverage. Goldberg manages to attempt fighting back. He can't escape the clutches of Gunther. Gunther squeezes tighter. The referee has no choice but to call for the bell. 28-year career of Goldberg is over. Referee winning by referee stoppage and still worldwide champion, the ring general Gunther. Goldberg comes to as we go to commercial. Commercial break. We return from the break to see Goldberg surrounded by his family and friends. Michael Cole says tonight is all about him and him, and hands him the microphone. Goldberg apologizes for going out on a little subpar and head to Never Lost in Atlanta. He had many friends and family members who have come over the world. Goldberg thanks them, the fans in Atlanta, who are wonderful. He couldn't have done it without them. The show abruptly ends. Tonight was just terrible. I mean, what in the world was Gunther thinking doing that to Goldberg? I mean, I know he's old news, but Gunther is gonna pay. Absolutely humiliating him in front of his family and Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg is one of the greatest athletes in the history of WWE. I mean, I've been a fan of Goldberg since I was little in WCW. He's a really good athlete, a former football player. He's a legend. He is a legend. We thank you, Goldberg. We thank you. But tonight was just terrible. I mean, they really shit on Goldberg tonight. They really did. Former football player. WCW Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time. He's a legend. Legendary Bill Goldberg. We thank you, Goldberg. But tonight was just garbage. They really shit on Goldberg. Now I got all that taken care of. Now it's time for something lightly to do. So by the way, for all of those of you that sorry I got to mention while I was doing my SmackDown review, sorry I forgot to mention that I would do a Saturday Night's Main Event review last night in the video, 2 videos. Now I know it's time for it. I know what it's time for. It's time for Justin's back to time history, all the wrestling birthdays, timeline, and all that stuff for this day, July 12th. All year, I think the things are Back to Future Time. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd celebrated his 40th anniversary, July 3rd, 2025. Because the movie was released July 3rd, 1985. So let's go to today, July 12th. Okay, hold on 1 second, everyone. Oh, 1 second, everyone. Okay, today is a happy birthday. Today would have been a happy. Let's see. Today would have been a happy 100th birthday to Australian wrestler Roy Heffernan. He died on September 24th, 1992. At the age of 67. 67. He died at the age of 67. And the Hurricane, Gregory Helms, he turns 49 today. 49 today. Hurricane. And Mexican wrestler Rocco Valente, he turns 66 today. Okay, let's see. Rest some history. Some wrestling history for today, July the 12th. Okay, Saturday night, Friday Night Titans. I don't know why which was called Tuesday Night Titans when they moved it Tuesday, Fridays. Guest host Jesse Ventura opens the show. An imposter joins the TNT set. Jimmy Hart joins the TNT set. Greg the Hammer Valentine joins the TNT FNT set. Vince McMahon joins the FNT set. Vintage footage of Vince McMahon interviewing Grillo soon after a match. Jim Brunzell joins the FNT set. Jim Brunzell versus Moondog Spot. Brian Bear joins the FNT set. Killer Bees versus Steve Lombardo and Dave Barbie. Imposter Prince attempts to sing. And then on this day in 1985, a movie called Explorers was released, starring Ethan Hawke, the late River Phoenix, and the late Amanda Peterson from Can't Buy Me Love. Cult classic, a really good movie, best movie that cult classic, one of the best movies of the '80s. Really good movie. Recent on it. Yep. And let's see what else. And I think I got it all covered. Okay, so that'll do it for my everything, my wrestling history and birthdays, everything. And tomorrow I'll be doing a review on AEW Dynamite, Average Action um, in Arlington, Texas. Tonight I'll be doing that review for AEW All In, my review for that tomorrow afternoon. So and I'll be also be doing my review for my review for WWE Evolution tomorrow. And so I hope all have a good night. And now I'm gonna close out the show with something. I'm gonna close, for those of you who know that hold on a second. No, what am I saying? See, I'm gonna close out the show with trying to see what I'm trying to figure out. Just hold on a second. I'm gonna close out the show with a song, the number one single, "Mr. Boombastic" by Shaggy. Boom, Mr. Boombastic. So hope I have a good night. I'm the Godfather Soldier Slimming. As a late Chad Henshaw used to say, I like to dress like Chubby Checker, sing like Lionel Tree, dance like James Brown. I like to get in the hot tub, gonna make me sweat, gonna make me dry, gonna make me wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing the pressure on Saturday Night Live on NBC back in the 80s. James Brown. I never grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. I saw old school Saturday Night Live when I was little. So hope all of you a good night. And here is something to close out the show with tonight. Mr. Boombastic by Shaggy. So hope you have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace.